this story, and right from the time I started reading about this, when this story came into our system and then we started reading the details, it's a story that really is shocking. I mean, it sends a chill down your spine, how easy it has become today in these days for young children as young as 13, 14, 15-year-old to just get into a fight and decide to end somebody's life. And the chilling details of this story are absolutely, horrific. Now, what happened in Ahmedabad? In a school, two students get into a fight. One is a senior of class 10th. The other one is a junior of class 8th. Verbal spat happened, both of them. In schools, kids sometimes get into some sort of a fight, and then both of them will see you again later. After that, people possibly would have thought that it's all over. That is exactly what the 10th class student, Nayan, also thought, that it's all over. But Nayan did not know that his junior has already decided to take this fight into a very different space, into a very different level. Now, what happened after this? And this is why the anger has erupted. Let me very quickly tell you, can we get those graphics of what happened as far as this case is concerned? This 8th class student, along with some other of his friends, cornered the class 10 student. The verbal spat again started, and later this young 8th class student came out, whipped out a knife and stabbed the 10th class student and then ran away. This was caught on the CCTV camera when the 10th class student Nayan, with his with his punctured stomach, goes inside, collapses, taken to a hospital. He dies there. But the bigger problem is the conversation that the 8th class student, the accused, had with another of his friend, in which so callously and easily he is narrating the whole thing and owning up to murdering a class 10 student. I just want to first just go across and read out, and this is absolutely mind-boggling. In Hindi, he says, "Abhe chaku tune mara tha." That's the friend. You stabbed him. The accused very casually says, "Yes." So, and then it goes on. The chat goes on. This is on Instagram that they are speaking. He said, his friend says, "Why you should not have killed him? You should have just beaten him up, not killed him." Then the 8th class student, the accused, says, "What happened has happened. Ab jo ho gaya, wo ho gaya." Then he said, "Time to go underground. Thode time underground raho," is the advice that the friend is giving to the accused, the young student, a juvenile who has killed his senior in the school. Now imagine the mindset and the way this chat is going, as if taking a life is not a big deal, as if violence is the only answer. This is the chilling conversation between both these students. And you would have your kids at home, young kids, cousins or anybody, brother, sister. Imagine class 8 student, it's just about 14, 15-year-old. And they are talking in such a casual manner about taking a life of somebody who is just about a couple of years older than them. It's absolutely spine-chilling incident. And both these students, their chat has now gone viral. This erupted, and after the death of the student, there was massive protest today in Ahmedabad. NSUI, other student bodies protested. It turned violent also inside the school. There was a lot of vandalism as well that took place. Anger of the parents coming out in a way, all of them saying, if our kids are not safe in the school, where are they safe then? These are some visuals of that protest, which also some student body, the Congress-led student body, also held today. Let's listen in to some protesters.
मैं यही स्कूल में पढ़ता हूँ और मैं सिंधी कम्युनिटी का हूँ। मेरी मांग ये है कि ये स्कूल ने वो बच्चे के साथ गलत किया। उन्होंने आधे घंटे तक बच्चे की बॉडी वहाँ पे रखी और फिर उसको रिक्शा में भी लेके नहीं गए और ना ही एम्बुलेंस मंगवाई। फिर उसके पेरेंट्स को आधे घंटे बाद रिक्शा में लेके गए और फिर उन लोगों ने वो जो ब्लड स्पॉट होता है सारे, उन लोगों ने वो एविडेंस एरिया पूरा साफ कर दिया कि स्कूल का नाम ना है इसमें। और कल जब इंटरव्यू में वो एक मैम है वो झूठ बोल रही है उन्होंने बोला कि हम उसको रिक्शा में लेके गए, वो झूठ बोल रही है। उसके पेरेंट्स आधे घंटे बाद आए, उसको रिक्शा में लेके गए हैं। हम आगे ये डिमांड करेंगे कि स्कूल इस पे कोई एक्शन ले।
हमें अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा है। आज हमारा प्रोग्राम था कि सेवन डे स्कूल में तालाबंदी की जाए। ये स्कूल खुद को आईसीएसई बोर्ड बोलती है, इतना बड़ा मैनेजमेंट है। लड़का आधे घंटे तक स्कूल के अंदर तड़पता रहा, लड़के को कोई एम्बुलेंस प्रोवाइड नहीं की, कोई गाड़ी प्रोवाइड नहीं की। पूरा स्टाफ यहाँ पे लग्जरियस गाड़ी लेके आता है, मर्सिडीज BMW पोर्श से गाड़ी लेके आते हैं। लड़के को रिक्शे के अंदर उसका मित्र लेके जाता है। तो ये पुलिस, ये प्रशासन क्या कर रहा था? सीसीटीवी फुटेज नहीं दी गया था समय से। उनके प्रिंसिपल ने अभी तक कुछ किया नहीं है और हमें दबाने की पूरी कोशिश की जा रही है। लेकिन हम नए साथवादी के लिए लड़ेंगे, अपनी जान की बाजी लगाकर लड़ेंगे।
बात करें तो कल मणिनगर में जो हादसा हुआ, छात्र के 8वीं कक्षा के छात्र ने 10वीं कक्षा के छात्र को मारा, उससे चलते आप देख सकते हो आज जो देखाव करेगी सब NSUI के लोग थे, यहाँ मौजूद थे देखाव के लिए। अब पुलिस ने जो है हिरासत में लोगों को लिया गया है। यहाँ से जो NSUI के प्रमुख के जो लोग हैं यहाँ प्रदर्शन दिखा रहे थे, उन लोगों सभी लोगों को जो है यहाँ से पुलिस ने गिरफ्तार करके ले गए हैं। कहीं ना कहीं जो बात करें तो लोग यहाँ बैनर के साथ जो है आए हुए। अभी हाल फिलहाल भी जो है स्कूल के लिए उनकी एक ही मांग है, स्कूल के लिए लोग जो है यहाँ प्रदर्शनकारी कर रहे हैं। काफी मात्रा में जो है NSUI के कार्यकर्ता यहाँ मौजूद है। आप उनसे ही बात करेंगे कि क्या है पूरा मामला। लोग यहाँ NSUI के लोग आए हैं, क्या कहोगे कि भाई क्या कहोगे सर, आज प्रदर्शनकारी क्यों प्रदर्शन हो रहा है? ये सब
स्कूल की बहुत बड़ी बेदरकारी है सर। स्कूल के अंदर जो प्रीमाइसिस के अंदर जो बच्चे के साथ में हुआ, तब सिक्योरिटी गार्ड वहाँ पे खड़े थे, कोई पर सिक्योरिटी गार्ड आकर उसको हॉस्पिटल नहीं ले गया। पहली प्रायोरिटी स्कूल की होती है, स्कूल के कर्मचारियों की होती है और हमारी मांग है।
Now this raises even bigger questions. What is happening to our children? I mean, is violence the most easy way out? Why are they seeing this as an easy thing to do, kill somebody and then to talk so casually about it? I'm being joined by Animeksha Tripathi Jain, psychologist who deals with a lot of children, anger management and stress and grief. Let me bring you in, Animeksha, and try and understand from you, because this is very shocking. I mean, some students saying to the other, "Tu mera kya kar lega? Tere ko dekh lunga. Tu kaun hai?" can't be the reason for somebody being stabbed, right? I mean, these kind of altercations keep happening. We have been to school, this used to happen, but it doesn't mean that people pick up a knife and stab somebody, right?
That's absolutely correct, what you're saying, and this observation and this anger that is going on in Ahmedabad. I think it is not just heart-wrenching. This is the time for us to not only see what has happened to the child, but what is happening to the society at large. I mean, it is very unfortunate what has happened. And, what you said is right. This cannot be the reason for stabbing someone. But having said that, this is now prevalent in and more seen and commonly seen in a lot of stratas of the society. You and me are in Delhi. We see so many cases of road rage happening, where, things like this keep on happening just because you don't get a parking, just because, there is some sort of an altercation on the road, or, there is a parking person who has denied you entry.
Yes.
People just get out, there, and they just, they feel that violence is the only solution. So exactly what I said, that, this is what is happening, and the school is actually also prevalent in the society. It is much more.
Can I then understand from you, because, one aspect, of course, adults, and you can say that, people are supposed to be more responsible. They at least understand the repercussions of the actions that they indulge in. But for children, why do you think that it's become so easy to take the violent route? Because you would expect a class 8 student, maybe, always buried in his books or playground or, or activities like that. The chat that we have seen with this child talking to his friend, it's so casual. Ab jo ho gaya, so ho gaya, underground ho jate hain, time will tell and we will see, and so forth. Why do you think, where is this inspiration or bad influence coming from? Is it movies? Is it WhatsApp? Is it social media? What do you blame that on?
So it's a little bit of all of it together. We can't just say that it is one thing, but I think the biggest problem is that there is a disconnect between our children and us, between our children and the society. the children are constantly online, either on a WhatsApp or on a screen, and there is a surgence of all these violent games also that are children are playing online. A lot of times we as parents think that the children are studying, but it's actually some sort of a violent game that they are picking up. So at 15, 16 or 14, your brain is not neurologically equipped and well wired and developed for you to understand the impact that it is having subconsciously on your mind. So when you read a WhatsApp chat about casually killing someone, or you have this kind of an exposure, children think that this is the way forward, or this is in some sort okay or accepted.
Yeah.
That is why you also see in the chat where he says that jo ho gaya so ho gaya, because he has no sense of responsibility of his actions. Maybe he was not called out when he was younger. Maybe as parents, we need to do that more. So the society, unfortunately, we are disconnecting our children too much from us by saying that we are sending them to classes, etc.
Yes.
But the value built system of inherent conflict management, empathy, etc., is not being taught to the children, and that was the first step that was done at home.
I think this should trigger that. This should trigger that conversation within homes of how you, see your children, because you have to speak to them, get into their lives and understand what they are doing, what they are going through. And also in the schools, there has to be some way to diffuse these kind of tension between students, maybe some counselors talking to them if they are getting into this kind of verbal altercation and then taking it outside. That takes a deadly turn. In conclusion,
mandate,
yes.
I'm so sorry to cut you, but by mandate, you need to have counselors in school these days. I don't know what the situation in the school was, whether there was a dedicated counselor or not, but that is what the schools precisely should look at. Counselors, but in schools these days, the counselors are given academic duties more than they're giving psychological duties. So maybe as schools also, we should relook at, the kind of psychological trainings that we should do, speak of conflict management with our children at an early level as parents, as societies, and also I really urge for the society to look out for each other. If you see a child misbehaving with another child on the street,
yes,
as an adult, please go ahead and try to stop that altercation. The child should not feel that I can go around, doing anything without anyone noticing. If you're not my parent, if you're not my teacher, I have no answerability to the society. That is not the kind of, thought the child should have, because that is what gives them this kind of expectation that it's fine, underground ho jao. Because that would mean that,
absolutely. Thank you so much for speaking to us. I'm hoping that this triggers some sort of discussions all across. This is not something that we would want to be reporting on. No. An 8th class student killing a 10th class student, and then of course it's a trauma that not only that family which has lost that child, but also the family whose child has now been accused of murdering somebody at this young age. All that needs to be spoken about. Thank you so much, Anveksha, for speaking to me at this moment. Before we slip into a very short break, all these movies that make violence look so glamorous without any repercussion as far as your anti-hero or your favorite star is concerned, video games, all that is not real life. Don't get bought by absolutely what you see on screen. They don't have any repercussions to pay after the movie is over. In real life, there are real consequences. That life and your life can absolutely be thrown off track if you don't make that difference.